All right, so I'm going to show you how to use Morningstar, what to look for, and just give you a quick tutorial. So the website address is morningstar.com, and it's going to bring you to their homepage. Here's their quote box. This is where you can actually type in the symbol if you know it, or if you don't happen to know the symbol, but you know the fund name, you can start typing that in, and it will autofill for you. So we're going to actually take a look at a Vanguard fund, Vanguard Equity Income. And there it is. So I just select that. And this is the fund profile that comes up. It gives us lots of information, so I'm just going to hit some of the highlights. Here's the fund name, Vanguard Equity Income, the symbol VEIPX, and then the star ranking here. And Morningstar rates their funds 1 through 5, with 5 being the highest, and they've ranked it as a silver fund. Gives you your net asset value here, so where it's trading at today, $28.68. Also gives you here your category. It's considered to be a large cap value fund. We're going to kind of skip around a little bit. Here is where it's going to give you your historical performance of the fund. It's comparing it against various benchmarks. You could also add in a particular fund if you wanted to compare it against another fund. You can change the timing of this chart. So this is actually a 10-year chart, but you could shorten it up if you wanted to look at just the 1-year performance or the 3-year performance. Morningstar does their own risk measurement. They're measuring this particular fund compared to its category. So this is actually saying it's a below average risk for its category, and it's actually got a higher return for its category. So those are both very good things. The style map is showing you that it's predominantly very large sized companies and giant sized companies. If it was small, if they were more growth oriented, the plot would be more over in this area. It's just going to kind of visually tell you where it's plotting and the types of companies that it's investing in. Here's some more performance information. It's going to give you your year-to-date performance numbers, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. It's also going to give you your ranking. And I mentioned this in my recent post about comparing it against its peers. So you can see that year-to-date it's ranked 53 among 1,245 funds in its category. And you can see over time in its history, it's been one of the leading funds for sure within its category. So those are good strength indicators. This is going to show you its asset allocation. It's going to show you how much is in cash, stocks, international companies, as well as bonds. And we can see that this is 100% equities. It's all stock related. There's a little bit of cash on hand. It's also going to give you a quick listing of those holdings. So you can see Exxon's its top holding, Johnson & Johnson, Chevron, Pfizer, and AT&T. For a more detailed look of the actual portfolio, you can come up here and click on portfolio. I'm always interested to know what funds, like what particular companies the fund's actually holding. So this is, again, just going to give you more detail on the holdings. If you click holdings here, you're going to get a whole listing. It's actually going to tell you how many stocks are in this particular fund. There's actually 157 stocks. And then you can get a listing of all of those and the percentage of that portfolio that holds. So I always think that that's fun to look at and informative. I'm going to go back to the main quote page. I wanted to show you also, I had mentioned management, and we always take a look at how long the managers have been in place and their kind of history, and you can get a synopsis of that under here, management. So the fund managers and their start dates. So you can see some of them are fairly new, but others have been here for quite a while. You've got the lead fund manager that's been there for over 10 years. So good to know that. This is also where you're going to find the dividends and gains distributions. It's going to tell you the yield. You can take a look to see if that dividend is growing, if it's shrinking, that kind of thing. See any trends there. If you're a subscriber to Morningstar Premium, you can have access to their fund analysis and their commentary. I don't particularly subscribe to that, but I do kind of look at their news and alerts and opinions to see if there's anything that's majorly changed. If their portfolio, you can see that they had a new portfolio in May, if they've changed rankings, if they've gone up in ranking or gone down, particularly if they've gone down in ranking consistently, we can see that there's probably a problem with the fund, and that might be a good indicator to maybe consider a new fund. So Morningstar does provide you with a lot of information. You can look at the chart, you can look at like more performance details, you can look at a lot of technical information within the ratings and risks, portfolio expenses, all of this information, how much it costs for an initial investment. So for example, right here, it's going to cost you $3,000 to just get into this fund initially. There's some other changes. Actually, I'll go into that. If it's an available fund within your 401k or retirement plan, usually that minimum is waived, and it'll usually show you that. Yep. And so usually you can get into that without having to meet that minimum. So there's Morningstar and how to use it. Whoop. Go back to that. And I hope that helps.